From its enormous front air intakes to the clusters of tiny taillights under a towering F40-style wing, Toyota Supra is a powerful styling statement. It also has muscle beneath its hood to match those looks. A 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6 engine makes 320 horsepower, which ties it with the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4 for the most powerful Japanese production sports car made. The Supra's chassis employs no special gimmicks, just the basics for world-class handling. Defeat the standard traction control, and the Supra will take you to 60 miles per hour in a torrid 5 seconds flat, helped by a slick shifting 6-speed with throws as short as a Formula Ford's. Tremendous grip and extremely predictable handling manners make it easy to extract the most from this chassis, putting it near the top of the group for overall handling and control. But be careful when exiting tight corners. The tail can and will come out under power. Like all the Supras before it, this version uses an inline-6 with a cast-iron block and aluminum head. But twin camshafts, sequential twin turbos, and a jumbo-sized intercooler help bolster output to 320 horsepower. Despite weight-saving efforts such as hollow fiber carpeting, dished head bolts, and a glass sphere-filled rear wing, the Supra's no bantamweight. Our scales show a healthy 3,450 pounds. The origin of the Supra dates back to 1971, when Toyota introduced the Celica as an economical 4-cylinder sports coupe. It was 8 years later that Toyota decided to create a new, more powerful version of the Celica, outfitted with a 2.6-liter inline-6 power plant derived from the Cressida's engine. The new model, called the Supra, enabled Toyota to better compete with other popular economy-minded sports cars such as the Mazda RX-7 and Nissan 280ZX. The Supra underwent rather conservative body style and mechanical changes through its next 2 generations, but in 1993 Toyota unveiled a radical redesign. The new Supra Turbo's performance capabilities put it at the top of the pack of Japanese production sports cars and squarely in contention with Europe and America's best. The desert heat has taken its toll on this old decrepit raceway. Loose gravel at the sides of the track can send the tail end out of control. If you want quick laps and fast speeds, this is where you'll get them. But remember, the only thing separating you from the finish line is the wall at turn 4. final lap. Congratulations, you have won the race! You've got a top 10 time for this track. Whisked from car show sweetheart to production vehicle in just 3 years, the Viper has put Chrysler back on the supercar map in bold block lettering. The approach is brute force rather than finesse, as the Viper is really a car built around its engine, a thundering 400 horsepower 8-liter pushrod V10. Pampering its driver is not part of the equation. The Viper has side curtains instead of roll-up windows, a rudimentary fabric top, and just the basic controls and gauges. With its short wheelbase and an impressive 450 pound-feet of torque, the Viper can feel twitchy when exiting low-speed corners if you're not smooth on the throttle. But its handling in general is fantastic and has the most direct race car-like feel of the bunch, with 0.96 G of lateral grip, just a touch of understeer in a steady-state condition, and virtually no body roll. With a 0 to 60 time of 4.8 seconds, the Viper's straight-line performance so overpowers the senses that its excellent handling can be overlooked. By far the largest production car engine sold in the U.S. today, the Viper's 8-liter all-aluminum V10 shares the architecture of Chrysler's small block 360 cubic inch V8, but with 2 more cylinders grafted on. Its exhaust exits through side pipes incorporated into the rocker panels. The Viper's construction follows race car practice, with a square-section tubular steel frame, tubular double wishbone suspension with coil-over shocks and plastic bodywork. Although claimed by some to be Chrysler's first true 2-seat sports car, the Viper is based on the history of sports car designs dating back over 40 years. The first of these was the 1952 Chrysler Hemi-powered Cunningham C2R sports racer, which despite its limited production run, has been cited as the grandfather of the Viper. Perhaps the greatest inspiration came from the legendary Shelby Cobra of the 60s, whose success was based on a formula developed by its creator, Carroll Shelby. He took British-built AC roadsters and bolted in massive 289 and 427 cubic inch V8s. In 1991, only 2 years after starting development, Carroll Shelby drove the Viper as the official pace car of the Indy 500. 1 year later, the Viper was rolling off the production line and into the eager hands of enthusiasts. This closed-circuit speedway is a little bit different from the open road courses in that you'll get a chance to learn every inch of track intimately as you power through each lap. The high bank turns make for intense metal-on-metal racing. The challenge is to consistently pick the best line if you want to bring in the best time. Congratulations! You have won the race and beat the best time for this track. You've got a top 10 time for this track. Long heralded as America's sports car, the ZR1 is the most powerful production Corvette ever made, foregoing the standard pushrod V8 for one with 4 cams, 32 valves, and 405 horsepower. The ZR1's LT5 engine is a multinational effort, with engineering assistance supplied by England's Lotus, and assembly carried out by Mercury Marine in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Final assembly of the entire car is performed where Corvettes have long been built, in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Carrying 200 pounds more than a standard Corvette and wearing wider tires, the ZR1 is a little less nimble, but more than makes up for this in sheer power and speed. The ZR1 attained an honest 178 miles per hour in our latest road and track top speed test, which places it a solid third in this group of sports cars. Drag strip launches are uneventful and easily repeatable, making it child's play to get 0 to 60 clockings in the 5-second range all day long. And the big V8's power band is so broad that you seldom have to worry about being in the wrong gear. The Corvette's structure is unusual, with fiberglass panels that are bonded to a skeletal steel frame. This structure exhibits some flex, which takes away from the feel of precision, but tires, brakes, and suspension geometry are all so good that this is more of a subjective demerit than anything else. The ZR1's 6-speed transmission has an extremely tall top gear for relaxed cruising, and cockpit adjustable suspension damping makes those longer journeys more comfortable. Chevrolet introduced the Corvette in 1953 as the all-American answer to the very popular British roadsters of that era. Named after a sleek and fast Canadian submarine chaser of World War II, the first Corvette was fitted with a fiberglass body and a Blue Flame pushrod inline-6 engine. Although the fiberglass body and front-engine rear-drive configuration have become integral components of the Corvette's design, the body shape, engine, and chassis have seen much change over the last 40 years. In 1990, Chevrolet launched the ZR1 project with a mandate to build a supercar that would compete with Ferrari, Porsche, and other European sports cars. Though the last of the 6,938 ZR1s rolled off the production line on April 28, 1995, the ZR1 remains one of the fastest and most powerful production cars in the world. Back during the gold rush, this used to be a thriving mining region. But with the gold gone, all that remains are a decaying ghost town, dilapidated mine shaft, and dark, dank caverns. Don't spend too much time reflecting on the glory days, as sudden twists and turns will immortalize you in this town's eerie legends. Congratulations! You have won the race and beat the top speed for this track. You've got a top 10 time and the top speed for this track.